What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Jess the Total Package and Craig the British Bulldog, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic, Wrestling Gets Real, Part 7, Talk Show Edition. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you be a doll and give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on X and Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Jess, I got to ask, this has to be due to the awesome footage that we saw in Australia this week with Grayson Waller getting ready to fight. What did they call him? A floor hand or a floor manager on a talk show? You disrespect me, yeah?
What happened?
What? You don't remember that? You didn't hear about this?
I just randomly chose this topic. I have no fucking clue.
You do this
what you guys are talking
this every
about.
week, Jess. Come on, just lead you in. You're
I
like, no,
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
One of your signature finishing moves.
Can I give you one?
Yeah, can you like?
Can
Can you show us?
That's LA Knight, by the
No,
way.
I think it
Like in the
actually just
studio?
showed on the screen there. If I do that, it's not going to be a good
Maybe
day for
someone in
anybody.
like our floor manager, maybe he seems
Well,
available.
actually, our floor manager's leaving this week.
Yeah.
And he's
There
sort
it
of,
is.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
That's not for me. You want to go ahead and take this one?
Look, you.
Uh-oh.
I don't think you understand. Like, if I come over there right now, we're gonna have the police here because I'm not gonna give you some fake punch. Like, I'm gonna punch you straight in the jaw. The disrespect that you have even talking to me. No, you want to talk to me like this ain't real. I got no. Don't act all tough, lad. Don't act all tough.
I get in the middle of this. You keep back. You keep back. Get him out of there. You get out of there. You get out. I'm so sorry.
No, don't do that. You guys come here trying to disrespect us. Are you kidding me?
I'm not disrespecting.
There's so many different levels of fakeness going on. The host trying to be fake to you get out of here, like, and all that stuff. But like, that's just weird. I don't even know if I like Waller doing that. Like,
no, I kind of do.
I love it.
I think it's kind of old school.
As a wrestling fan, I do like it or whatever. But like, yeah, I'm just like in my mind, I'm like, okay, like
he didn't cross any lines. It was just uncomfortable enough to be like he was just still protecting kayfabe, but he didn't want to be.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do, they don't want to be the joke. And so the floor manager posing, you can't see the video, but he was like kind of posing and like threatening him with his muscles. And he's like, they don't want to be at the fucking joke like that. They get asked this question day after day.
I guess it's never changed, right? Because one of the videos, especially that we're going to cover in this episode, which is obviously this is an inspiration. I played stupid like I didn't know. Yeah, really that inspired this episode. And then I was like, man, so I chose 3 talk show. Everyone's probably heard of these or whatever. I think the second one, I think people forgot about, and I did a little bit until last year. I think on Piper's birthday, it went viral. And then people were like, oh shit, that's right. And I totally forgot about that. And you could tell the wrestlers are incompetent. All of these have one thing in common. The host stupidly asked, is wrestling fake? Or I think it's fake. Or some form of that fucking question will trigger wrestlers. Like,
are they in on the joke?
Right? Yeah, as it should.
I don't even call it like I think to Craig's point, I don't even call it triggering. I think this is like you put the wrestler in a place where they have no other place to go. But to stand up for it and say like,
the wrestlers just get on there because their promoters or the owners of the company said, hey, go on this fucking talk show and promote, whatever pay-per-view we're doing. And they get on there and the fucking unoriginal, the host just has the same old tired thing. Is wrestling real?
I think this is fake.
It's like, fuck, like, they just get fucking tired and they're fucking, they've been traveling, they're tired, they're fucking over or whatever, or hurt and all this shit, and they have to get on the fucking talk show and deal with this shit. Like, get it. I really get it, but it's like, god damn, here we are in 2020 and someone's still like, if Brock Lesnar was sitting on that couch, do you think it went that way at all? No, like they wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah,
like, they would never. So it's also a perception about pro wrestling, and if they see one of the smaller guys, and I don't mean Waller's a small human being, but the stagehand was bigger than him.
Smaller than Brock.
Let's say that. But yeah, it's like, if Lesnar was sitting there, they would not be like, hey, can you demonstrate the F5 on me? They would never. It's like it is kind of bullshit. The way
would you ever ask like Oscar De La Hoya to hit you with the right hook? No.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Dave.
That's a very good point. Would you let Mike Tyson can you demonstrate your... So
that people that have,
but I also want to say this in context too is I hate to say it, maybe it was a work.
Yeah, right.
Like maybe it was.
I don't know.
At the end of the
I
day,
don't
it
know,
sells
it didn't
tickets to
feel- it
Elimination
didn't-
Chamber, right?
Well, when the guy got up, they played John Cena's music and all that stuff. It's like they were ready. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe
Well, they were
it looked
they
good.
were ready, but the way Waller responded, there was a delay there, and he's like, I don't know what to say to you right now, because if I really swing on you, I'm gonna put you down. Like he was like talking about the disrespect of it, and I was like, why would he talk about the disrespect of it if it was planned? Like that's how I think it's not. But who knows? We'll find out in 20 years. Oh yeah, we worked you guys hardcore. That was
Like
a
Waller
great word.
and Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, like they totally worked us. They worked us for years on that. We had no idea. Andy took that to his grave. We didn't know it was a work till years later. We saw the movie.
The Waller said he's
Had no idea.
It's fake, baby. That's Jimmy
Yeah,
Hart.
Jerry's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, like Jerry's like, I'm sorry, Andy. I was really committed to this.
It was fake puppies.
You know?
I don't know.
And by the way, credit to Jerry Lawler for allowing that to happen and like letting that go and let Andy be that jerk for that time and then take advantage of it. What a great fucking work. And it put wrestling.
Why do you think Vince
it
hired
put Southern
him?
wrestling on the map.
When Vince got him at the end of '92, he's like, he gets it. Like, that Southern,
Yeah,
that
a lot of guys
Jarrett
wouldn't have done
wrestling
that.
belt knew it.
Yeah. He understood like this will get so much heat on us, and it'll get so much exposure because it's Andy freaking Kaufman. Of course, I want to do this, and Andy and Andy, by the way, loved and respected the sport. So that's why I think it all went down the way it did. But I don't think this is that. I don't think these are people that respect the sport and have talked about it for years and just happen to get on an Aussie show when these guys come into town. It just seemed like they thought they could, pull up their britches and be, oh, this would be great TV. Like, no, you almost got yourself really hurt, but that's okay. I stand by it. I wish Waller would have. I wish he would have. I'm a little disappointed he didn't. We can move on to the first topic though, based on this glorious week of wrestling gets real on talk shows. Vader on Good Morning Kuwait, not Good Morning America. Good Morning Kuwait, April of 1997. In April of said year, the WWF went on a Middle Eastern tour following WrestleMania 13. This is how desperate it was getting. For this, the WWF had two top stars, which were Vader and then the WWF champion, The Undertaker, go on to Good Morning Kuwait. Kuwaiti presenter Bassam Al-Altman hosted the show. He immediately put both wrestlers on edge by asking about the legitimacy of professional wrestling. The Undertaker answered professionally, but Vader physically put his hands on the host and says, "Does that feel fucking fake?" So good. Vader will be put on house arrest for 2 weeks.
Okay.
You stop now.
Okay.
Vader was on house arrest for 2 weeks, could not leave the country until he paid a $166 fine and apologized publicly for that. In a later interview, Vader said he was told by producers that the host would ask the question, but he and Undertaker were surprised by they were supposed to only act a little bit annoyed by it. Vader figured he'd make a memorable segment by flipping the table over and grabbing the host by his collar.
It's harmless.
I don't know. It's probably not harmless. It probably is harmless, but
he probably shit himself.
It was like, so I'm gonna try. So what do you guys see when I share? You don't see the actual video, like the big screen, right?
No, I see that. That 3-shot.
Yes, you're good.
Okay, so the audio, I think he goes, "Oh my!" when Vader grabs him. At
shows that.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
You gave him a chance to respond to that question.
This is the
Yeah,
question I'm gonna ask you now.
I'd like to respond to the same question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Well, my astute colleague, the heavyweight champion of the world,
Kuwaiti Matt Lauer,
very diplomatic individual. I'm
perhaps
not quite so diplomatic. In fact, I find your question and
again, to Dave's point, Vader's the heel
to what I do.
Right. And Undertaker did answer it diplomatically. He did. He was like, well, it's a lot of people think that, but Vader's like, I ain't done fucking around. Like,
physically, no man can do what I do in the ring.
That's true.
If they could,
That's true.
Why wouldn't they be out there making the type of money we make, enjoy the type of fame and lifestyle that we enjoy? So I find your remark and your question insulting.
It's not my question. It's somebody who
It's not my question.
Does that fucking feel fake, huh? Does that feel fake?
Love it.
Who's grabbing him by the collar?
Oh, no.
He
Why don't you
flipped
come
the
down
table and
tonight,
grabbed him by the
and
collar.
before I kick his ass, I'll kick your ass.
Okay.
All right?
Just calm down.
Hey, we're not here to be insulted. I'm not here to be insulted.
Okay.
What's funny in the whole time,
Okay.
Vader's incredibly calm the whole time. He doesn't even do his Vader voice. He's doing his regular,
Oh my god.
just like talking to his kids. Does that feel fucking fake, bro?
Nice. No, okay.
Okay.
I didn't come here to be insulted. I was like, ooh.
Okay.
He's
Before I kick
calm,
his
cool, and
ass, I'll
collected
kick
the whole
your
time.
ass.
Like
Yeah.
he acts like
Yeah,
just like
very
any of
matter
us
fact
would. Like
about it.
if we know we're pushing someone's button and they actually react, it's like okay.
God, how much money would you pay for Vader versus Kuwaiti Matt Lauer?
I'm surprised they didn't have that WrestleMania.
Inside.
I would have.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Waiting, not loud.
I would have paid Texas tickets for that. Yeah. Let's jump into the second one. We got WCW wrestlers on Politically Incorrect in December of 1999. I gotta tell you, not to be too much. The more I see Bill Maher now, the more I can't stand him. That's just a personal thing, but
Same.
yeah, it's getting. When you get old, you get weird. And I know I'm getting weird, but not that
shit.
weird.
That's all. They're all
whatever your agenda
But
is, right?
he was super snarmy and gross back here too. So like,
he's being a douche.
Go ahead, Dave. Start reading into this because I have like a weird. The whole thing felt weird to me. Yeah.
1999, famous wrestling personalities such as Roddy Piper, Medusa, Sting, and Bobby Heenan were invited as guests on Politically Incorrect to discuss the pro wrestling business. As pro wrestlers, it is not uncommon to get the annoying question, is wrestling fake? Quite a bit. In the past, many wrestlers have lost their cool when asked the same question. This is because though wrestling is predetermined and staged, the toll that it takes on your body is very real. During that interview, Maher claimed that wrestling was not real and the fans are in on the joke. He argued that calling wrestling fake it cannot be taken as an insult, to which Piper immediately responded, stated that he takes it as an insult. Maher then proceeded to ask Sting if they really hit each other during their matches. Sting explained that the sound of the chair was real, and even if it is entertainment, the pain is real. Maher continued to undermine everybody and interrupted them with the statements. Maher took it too far when he said, "There aren't any bruises on any of you." Piper wasted little time in reacting to Maher's statement and got off his seat and dropped his trousers, showing his indelible bruises from wrestling. He also added, "Owen Hart is dead. Why don't you go tell Mr. Hart what a joke it is?" Huh?
Look at my dick, man.
Yeah, I don't think he said that.
Look at my cock, man.
I can do a helicopter back.
I love how this comes on Politically Incorrect and drops trow. Just look at my ass, man.
Look at my taint, man. Look how nice my taint is.
Probably shitty sound.
That's not an insult.
So what you're trying to say is people are just dying for this.
I take it as an insult.
I do too.
Medusa
but
was
they're dying to find out, hey,
okay,
wrestling's
then
fake.
then you're telling me that you're really hitting each other?
No.
The sound of the chair is real, okay? We are entertainment, but when a metal chair cracks your back, that's not fake.
That
When
can't
somebody
be a
throws
metal
you from, it's a
Yes,
metal.
yes. You know what? There's never a bruise on any of you.
Well, Lonnie, you got a minute? Look at this. No.
You got a minute?
Metal hip.
Piper showing him his scar. Yeah.
This was Piper's weird phase too.
Yeah.
See that wrist? 7 years it's been broken. Owen Hart, dead. Why don't you go tell Mrs. Hart what a joke it is, huh? Oh, it's just a phrase, right? You want me to be truthful with you? Huh, champ? You know what, if I may say so, sir.
It's all crazy later. Yeah. Piper was going through his weird phase too. And I think the Owen Hart thing was a little bit of a low blow because of the fact that like he died during a stunt that he shouldn't have been doing. So like I think that was kind of like
the actual.
Yeah, like it was. But also too, what a lot of people don't know is just that segment plays a lot. If you see the whole segment, Rowdy Piper opened the show doing a skit with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher did this whole skit about against steel chair. You know what the latest phenomenon sweeping the nation in the United States is people getting hit with steel chairs. As a matter of fact, Hulk Hogan has been hit so many times on the back of the head with a steel chair, the back of his head smells like ass. And everybody laughs. And he's like, so I think we should ban steel chairs. And then Rowdy Piper, they put the camera over. I have 4 steel chairs, man. So he did a whole skit with Bill Maher, which I thought was a weird tone. And then when all the wrestlers came out, the one person that I looked at their face and I was like, that's really telling. Heenan was incredibly uncomfortable the whole time because he knew some fake bullshit was coming. Like, is it fake or whatever? Like, you could tell they were all apprehensive. And it's really weird. And 99 wasn't. It was a couple of years after Vince made the thing, or quite frankly,
he already made the
retired.
statement about entertainment.
Yeah, he already made the statement. So I think there's a lot of old school wrestlers, and all these people here, were old school wrestlers at the time, especially Piper and Heenan. They've been doing it forever. And Sting was getting older at this point. Medusa had been in it for a long time. So, like, I think they were it was a combination of, like, they didn't know what to expect. They probably weren't prepped well by the producers. Piper did an opening skit which showed that he was friendly. And when they started the show, Bill Maher said, "Hey, I want to thank you very much for doing that skit with us. You're very funny, and you can laugh at yourself, and we like that." And Piper's all, "Oh, thanks. I'll never say anything bad about you." And then, like, 2 seconds later, he's like, "Look at this! Look at my dick, man!" Like, it was just weird. Like, the whole thing was weird. And if you watch the whole thing, even Heenan, like, gets angry a little bit later. Like, they go on for another, like, 2 minutes of Bill Maher going, "Whoa, calm down." And Bobby Heenan's like, "Oh yeah, like, he said something," and then Bill Maher goes, "Well, geez, like, that's what they call him, the brain." And then Heenan's like, "Why? You think I'm stupid?" And, like, he was really angry, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, so the whole segment was fucking weird, and, like, it was just very, like, I don't know if they wanted it guerrilla like that because it's politically incorrect and that's the whole thing. But, like, yeah, man, it was a really weird, like, kind of real thing where, like, you're like, oh shit, like, all these wrestlers were like, "What the fuck you talking about? Like, what are you saying?" Like, it's weird. Like,
yeah, Sting came off great, and the answer is Medusa always came after Piper did like crazy stuff and explained the situation and answered the question. But, like, Bill Maher, he wanted to antagonize them. And he thought he was being cute, but like he also, there was a moment which I thought was very cool. Bill Maher in the middle of it was like, "We're more alike than we think," and so I think he had respect for them and how they could jibe back and forth and punch back.
Well, yeah, that's right. There was that interaction where Piper, like, said something, and then Bill Maher goes, "Yeah, well, I'm the one who dropped my pants," or something like that, and he was like, "Fuck, I don't remember what he said." He said something to Bill Maher.
Like, how'd you get your job?
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not the one who dropped my pants in front of other guys," or something like that, or whatever. He's like, "Well, wow, how'd you get the job?" And, like, people were like, "Oh," like, Piper was super sharp. Like, he really was. Like,
yeah, he was.
Heenan hit him on, like, he's like, "What do you do before the show?" And he's like, "I masturbate." And then they all just railed on him. Bill Maher made a joke about to calm down before every taping he masturbates, and then they all railed him on that.
I mean, like, there are certain reporters that you've seen, like, you see them on social media, and they talk about the nuances, but but those particular reporters are part of the business, and they get the craft, and you'll get that kind of leniency and that kind of, hey, we'll give you something, but at no point will that particular reporter that's part of the business ever ask that kind of a bullshit question either. So it's a lot safer, and they can talk about things like, whatever is kayfabe. Hey, we talked about who was going over that night, and they talk about that, but they also know they're in a comfort zone because that person's part of the business. When you get on these shows where they have no respect for it because they don't understand it, they don't watch it, they don't understand the craft of it, they're immediately on edge, to your point. And honestly, it makes for some great television. And I think some people know. I bet you Bill Maher knew that. He was either going to get them to break down, or get great TV either way. So, it's, speaking of, I don't think this reporter knew.
By the way, this next one, Dave, when you're done, I'm gonna play this whole fucking video. I don't care if we get copyright stricken. I'm gonna play this whole video.
It has to be seen to be believed.
This is the classic one, right? This is a classic.
I can't believe this is number 7. We haven't done this before.
Yeah, I believe we've talked about it, but not. And
I held things out. I held things back on purpose.
Right. Yeah. So this is 2020 reporter John Stossel backstage at Madison Square Garden, December of 1984. He's talking to Schultz.
John Stossel, baby. Rest in peace.
And he had a notorious encounter on December 28th, 1984, with John Stossel while he was backstage at Madison Square Garden doing a story about professional wrestling secrets. During an interview, Stossel told Schultz he thought pro wrestling was fake, which was already widely assumed. He's like, he literally says, "I think this is fake." And Schultz's response was to slap Stossel in the head twice, knocking him on the floor each time. "That's an overhand slap. Is that fake to you?" something to those lines. It's amazing. The attack, which attracted a large amount of media coverage, was later aired on national television, including ABC News, which reported that the network had received more than 1,000 calls from viewers inquiring about Stossel's health. Is he okay? Is he all right? I love
Are people that bored? Like, hi, this is Janice. Is John okay? I just saw the video. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, people are
He's
calling
my
in.
favorite field reporter.
Oh,
Is he
is
all
John
right?
okay? No, he
just
asked a
got
dumb
slapped to
question.
the
He got
ground. He'll be
slapped.
fine. He might be concussed a little bit. Marvin Kahn, a deputy commissioner at the New York State Athletic Commission, had been present at the arena during the incident and immediately suspended Schultz for his actions. This was back when it was extreme kayfabe. There was, you had to get licensing to do stuff. You had to get licensed for matches. People had to get tested, all that kind of craziness. It was like boxing. You had to do all this weird shit and get weird licenses to do wrestling in certain towns. And it was really crazy. Although called by Commissioner Jose Torres, who attended a hearing before the commission, Cohn later reported that Schultz had written a letter to the commission, I'm assuming to apologize, and got off fine. And I'm sure Vince paid a little fine.
That was Vince, right? I was going to say. So I think Bruce told the story or something that afterwards, people were like, what were you thinking? And Vince was like, I don't know why I let him talk to Dr. D. Like, dude. Like Vince knew shit's gonna, it's so funny. Like Vince was so young here, and he had just brought the company from his father like 4 years before, so he didn't know. He thought mainstream coverage awesome. Let him in the hallway. What's the worst thing that could happen?
But by the way,
let him talk to David Schultz.
Could it have been like the best thing that could have happened though? Like
it could have been.
You're not gonna like the kind of coverage that you got on this.
And in a weird way, Dave, it was the best thing that could ever happen. It was the best.
It's just like the Hogan incident with the SVU guy with Belzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rest in peace. He just passed away, I think, I believe. And that thing went all over. And by the way, it's not from his injury. Don't do that. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Right.
Don't do that. But I'm telling you, like, that incident, even though like nobody gets to see it unless you can find it buried in YouTube somewhere, is still talked about today. You can't buy that kind of coverage. So you have to wonder if like Vince kind of like, I just kind of hope something happens. I hope nobody dies, but Dr. D. Go talk to Dr. D. Yeah, he's a real nice guy. You should talk to Schultz. You should.
I can afford this money.
David, is it your David Schultz? How do you spell that? Okay, thank you.
How do you spell it? Oh my God, you're gonna play it from this point over there.
And fake violence in the wrestling ring led to this real-life brutality.
I think this is fake.
You think it's fake?
Is that fake? Huh?
Open
What's
hand
wrong
slap.
with you? That's open hand slap, huh? You think it's fake? You come.
Oh.
God, you see the wrestlers off to the side, like smiling so wide, like get him.
Later that night too, like Dr. D was a goddamn hero. Everybody bought him shots that night. Everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Like you.
We don't know what's gonna happen, but
you know what the sad thing was? I don't think David Schultz did any main events or any sort of prestige or belts. Did
Well, he had a small. I remember when Hogan first won the title, he actually feuded with Hogan for like 6 months. Like he went after Hulk, like after Sheik, I think. But that was it. Like after that, like he was gone shortly after. He wasn't with the company. I think in '85.
Maybe because he was a fucking madman.
He was crazy. He was a dick.
Wasn't there an incident with Vince and he had a shotgun and Vince got pissed that he shot it off and then he pointed at Vince like, "Whoa!"
I think so.
Like,
I think over a payday or some bullshit. Like it always happens or whatever.
No, it's on video. Like it's like he shoots the gun like.
Oh yeah, no, it was on the TNT show.
Right.
It was on the TNT show. That's right. That's fucking right.
And you see Vince gets noticeably upset, like, "God damn, what is?"
He's like, "What? Does it make you uncomfortable? I have a gun or some shit like that."
Then he points at him
okay.
like, "Whoa."
Never will. You don't even like me, do you? Come on, answer it. Everybody's listening. You don't like me, do you?
I can't say you're one of my favorite people.
Well, let me show you something. You know, I don't care what you don't like. Because, hey, hang loose, baby. Be cool. Come on, don't move. This is a gun. You probably don't know nothing about that because you probably ain't got enough money to afford nothing like that. You either. See, that gun could be loaded or unloaded. You don't know nothing about guns, so I won't let you touch it. But I will tell you this. I have a lot more than this.
All right, we'll be back with David Schultz and his entire gun collection, hopefully.
Oh, it's so good.
You see Vince actually loses it for half a second, then realizes
I
on
love
TV,
I love the wrestling gets real. I think it's amazing. And I think that some of the wrestling gets real that we might cover in part 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, because it's going to go on forever. Might have been a work. And that's also the genius in some of it too, is like, until Jerry Lawler came out and said it was fake, like people thought that Dave Letterman, the whole Andy Kaufman thing was fucking real. Even though they wrestled fucking the next week, like, in the Coliseum, but people thought it was real, and that's what got people to go to the arena, watch the live broadcast or whatever. It's really crazy what wrestling can do. It's why we love it so much. It's really crazy about how people get obsessed, right? Say it's fake. Say it's fake. It's like, why? Like, can't you just shut the fuck up and accept it for what it is?
I don't go on your Bachelor show and say, "Sure, it's fake." We all know it's fake.
Right.
Most people get the first half, they don't get
like
married.
when Sylvester Stallone goes on to promote Rocky 20, like they're not like, "Oh, this is fake," right?
Sure, it's fake,
real
bro.
boxer.
Why?
No, what are you talking about? It's not fake. Like, so come on, like, Jesus Christ.
What exactly? What are we talking about? You can argue that this kind of promotion of what these people do is way more work, effort, ability than anything that Rocky's gonna put out or anything that the fucking Bachelor's gonna put out on like 10 times, 100 times over, and nobody ever challenges those things. It's mind blowing to me because funny thing too is that the thing I'm saying it's real than the Bachelor because that shit really hurts. The only difference is no one's trying to hurt each other, and there is a
by the way
and I get it,
after that Dr.
there,
D,
but
after that Dr. D situation, John Stossel made it his fucking life thing. He's been on documentaries, he's been on Vice and everything, just going like, I knew it was fake. He just fucking hated wrestling after that. I would too, probably. And he just made it his life mission. Fucking, it's fake, and that's all he ever said. Like afterwards,
well,
it's like, fuck you,
don't,
man. Like,
don't be an asshole. Then, like, it was even the way he did it. He's like, standard question, sure.
I think it's fake.
He antagonized.
I think this
is fake.
That wasn't even a question. Like you got what you deserved, and you can do whatever you want for years to come after about how you want to
come in. Yeah,
you're lucky. That's all you got. Like, honestly,
I think Dr. D he gave an appropriate answer.
And he didn't hit the ground as hard on the first slap. The second, he made sure that he hit the ground on the second slap.
Dr. D knew.
It was a slap. It was a slap push. Like. He made sure
Dr. D knew on the second one, like he has no time to recover. So right when he got up on his feet and he barely got his footing, Dr. D's like, and here's the second one. Boom. Like, and
here's
put him
your
on the
second receipt. Did you want, you ordered a pizza? Here you go. You want to drink with that? Here it is.
So here's the best. Here's the best.
Fantastic.
I love that, man.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
Fuck, you know what? I'm gonna buy a Dr. D shirt unless I Google him and find out he's a terrible person.
Now we have to be careful. Look at what we do.
Yeah.
On that. Well, and
I mean,
we might have.
You don't know wearing Ty Cobb shirts as an example, Craig. Right? You don't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Ty Cobb.
I think he was a piece of shit as a person.
Yeah, he's just a fucking. He was just a woodsman. You know what I mean? Like a fucking hillbilly. Yeah. Like that's what he was.
He called himself a redneck on that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a redneck.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's good business. I wouldn't be in a business with a good business.
Maybe when Wrestling Gets Real Part 8 is going to be a talk show edition Part 2, because I swear to God, I can find probably like 7 more.
Yeah,
they're all over. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook X at Our Wrestling Podcast. For the O.W.P, this is Craig, Jess, and Butters signing off. Have a good one.